I've learned that you cannot make someone treat you the way you want to be treated. You can't make them do what you would want them to do. You really cannot change a person. You can learn to accept the person, you can love them for who they are, or you could just decide that you're not going to be able to deal with, or you can't handle, or you won't subject yourself to the type of treatment that they are dishing out. It's okay to want more, and it's okay to know that you deserve better, and it's okay to walk away. I'm pausing just a little bit because I'm trying to let that soak in. It's okay. Let it soak in. It's okay to walk away. Although it still kind of hurts, there's still anger, especially when you put a lot into something or into someone, or especially when you had plans, you had a vision of how things were supposed to unfold. And I guess sometimes that's the control factor, the control, I don't want to say freak, or the control, me wanting to control everything. And the thing is, you can't control everything. You can't control people. You can only control the elements that you, or the factors that you have. And I don't even think you have absolute power over anything. There's certain variables, certain factors that you may be able to control. But the rest of it is really just left up to actions and events, and how your actions interact or interplay with other factors. So nothing, we don't live in a environment that is completely controlled. We don't live in a lab. We don't live in an experimental environment. We just don't, where we're able to control the variables. And even in experimental situations, there's still some variables that are still outside of the researcher's control. So we just don't have the power to control things. We just don't. We try, and I know for me, I like to control certain elements, like to feel that I'm in control, and lack of control definitely breeds a lot of frustration. And I think, as I'm processing my recent relationship, friendship, situationship, I am a little frustrated, a little angry, because I'm like, whoa, I just didn't quite get it, or didn't quite, get what I needed, or it was just a lot of didn't, could have, would have wanted it to have happened this way, or wish the other person even understand. And I think there was a level of disconnect, not because we were not speaking the same language, or not because there was a communication barrier. I think sometimes when people are set in their own ways, or they are focused on themselves, they hear the other person, but they are unwilling to meet them, or to give them what they need. And I know shouldn't go into a relationship asking for the other person to give you what what you need, or for the other person to take care of you. And you should go in whole and being able to do you, and being independent, and being stable, and being able to stand on your own. But I think that relationships are a basic give and take. And if you find that there's more give, and when I say more give, that you're giving more and the other person is taking more. And there are times when you will find yourself giving more depending on what's going on, but it cannot be one-sided all the time. And that definitely was a source of frustration for me. And I don't know, I've never quite ended a situation where I'm just like, yo, I'm angry, I'm pissed off, angry. And I think it's just the whole dynamics of the relationship. And there were definitely certain variables that I couldn't change, didn't want to entertain, didn't want to embrace. And it's not that I am a mean or terrible person. It was just certain things just didn't make sense. Still don't. And I understand it, but, just did not make for a relationship or situationship or friendship that would survive on a solid foundation. Because the foundation, how you start something, is key. And you cannot start something with multiple players. It just, it doesn't work. And especially when you're starting it with multiple players, and some of the players resemble a little bit more than a friendship. And especially when other players are interfering and you're not viewing their actions as interference, that is problematic. And yeah, real angry a little bit. And not angry in like I want to hurt somebody, or angry in like, but as I'm looking at, as I'm replaying events, I'm like, yo, I am really, this didn't make no sense. I'm really annoyed, like really upset right now. As a matter of fact, as I am thinking about this, I hear the song from Kellis playing in my mind. I hate you so much right now. Like, I want to sing it, I want to scream it. I hate you so much right now, right? Crazy. But yeah. So, definitely have to get the feelings out. And I'm just like, wow. Where did all of this come from? It's like bottled up in there somewhere. And then, as I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, life is so cyclical. And sometimes we get caught in bad patterns until we learn the lesson. And as I'm replaying my situationship, I'm like, it resembles a few other situations and friendships and relationships that I've had. It resembles other ships that have sailed. And it's definitely sailed without me. In some cases, I removed myself. In other cases, I was pushed overboard, blindsided, capsized, didn't even know until, that I was pushed over and treading water and couldn't swim. And I'm beginning to think that this last situationship created an atmosphere where I was able to, an internal atmosphere, where I was able to literally process some of my other situationships and maybe the unprocessed emotions or the unprocessed hurt from it. Or just looking at the nonsense, I'm like, yo, that was sheer nonsense then, it's sheer nonsense now. But why the nonsense still? Why at this juncture the same nonsense? Why the pattern at 16? Why this pattern in my early 30s? And now why this pattern again in my early 40s? Like, what am I to learn from this situation? It can't be just to get angry and to scream, I hate you right now. I hate you so much right now. No, it's more than that. There's some internal lessons and healing and cleansing, purging that needs to take place within me. And yeah, so I am definitely doing some introspection, definitely like taking some time to process it, and just to know that all things are working for my good. Even though it doesn't feel good, even though it doesn't look good, it doesn't sound good, all things are working for my good. And I will not get caught up with disappointment, anger, frustration, or bitterness. Can't be bitter, won't be bitter, but definitely need to process my emotions. And I am not one to fake the funk. I am very transparent. If I'm with you, I'm with you. If I ain't feeling you, I ain't feeling you. But I do know how to compartmentalize, and I do know how to separate things. So separate certain feelings. And I'm sure Jesus had to do that, as he sat with his betrayer, as he sat with Judas. He had to compartmentalize. And I was just like, yo, how is Jesus able to do that? And sometimes we think people have betrayed us, and there are times when we may even betray ourselves. And we still got to sit with ourselves and say, yo, did you really just do that? I thought we had a plan. Like, what just happened here? And at the same time, the same thing too, and the betrayal comes from external factors, people, or sometimes in your inner circle. You still have to process that, still sit with it, still work with the person. So yeah, you have to learn to compartmentalize. So I am definitely learning how to compartmentalize, to feel the feelings, go through the emotions, but don't sit in it. Let it go. Process it. Pick out the lessons. Flush it out. Move towards forgiveness and let it go. Letting it go. But right now, I am screaming, I hate you so much right now.